Why are we watching soccer? Baseball game's on. Change it now.
No, it's the World Cup.
Like the World Series?
Baseball.
Let's go.
No, like the FIFA World Cup of football, the biggest sporting event in the world. That's what it is.
Bigger, the Super Bowl or the World Cup?
Why are you asking me this? Are we being serious right now? The World Cup, bro. Get out of here with that.
Do they compare at all?
No, it's not even close, like at all. Like not even close. Yeah, people over in America they don't understand how big football is.
What's bigger, the Super Bowl or the World Cup final?
Ooh. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, NFL's the best.
Super Bowl, of course. Come on now.
Of course the Super Bowl.
Oh, the World Cup, for sure.
Yeah?
I mean, this is huge in America, but the world population is so much bigger. There's no way that the Super Bowl is going to compete with the World Cup.
I haven't been to the World Cup yet, so I'm going to say the Super Bowl.
Come on now. We know what that was bigger. The World Cup final. I know what the stats are.
World Cup final, I believe. The World Cup involves, like, a lot of countries in the world, and then this is more like American.
World Cup.
Right now, it's the Super Bowl.
The World Cup.
The World Cup final.
I'm biased, but I'm going to say the Super Bowl.
I think the Super Bowl is bigger.
For me, I would say the Super Bowl. For me personally.
Okay.
Room. 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 Room.
The World Cup unites a country more than the Super Bowl ever could.
Oh, y'all just walked into a death trap.
Because if you lose the World Cup, then you're basically done.
So there's a little nuance to that. It's how you lose a tournament or how you lose a World Cup that determines whether or not your nation is going to welcome you back. Like, if regardless, it's how you win or lose. But that point right there, that united Kansas City. That didn't unite a nation. It united one single city. And the Super Bowl as a whole unites two cities, whichever two fan bases are playing in it. The rest of the country is going to watch, but they're not united. They're not all cheering for the same thing. There's a bunch of people, there's a bunch of Super Bowl viewers, shut up. There's a bunch of Super Bowl viewers who are just watching to watch the big event. But they're not passionate about it. You said your mom doesn't really like football, and that's fine. But she's interested in watching. But does she care who wins?
I saw where somebody said the World Cup is like having a giant sleepover with all your cousins that you love that you never get to see because your parents hate each other. Damn if that ain't accurate.
So what's bigger, the Super Bowl or the World Cup? Why is this a debate every year? Brother, the Super Bowl is not on the level of the World Cup. I don't even think the Super Bowl is on the level of AFCON. There gotta be American football fans that think this is how the world looks. The Super Bowl on Sunday got 220 million viewers. Manchester City versus Liverpool, a random game in the Premier League, triple the amount of viewers. More people saw this Shobo Slide free kick and master disaster class than the Super Bowl.
The numbers prove it, and fans absolutely agree. The World Cup is on an entirely different level than the Super Bowl. While Super Bowl LX drew a massive domestic audience of 125.6 million viewers, it remains a single-nation event. Meanwhile, the 2026 World Cup is projected to shatter records with 6 billion global viewers, roughly 3 out of every 4 people on Earth. When Americans proudly call it football, it creates an instant connection, earning deep respect and bringing international fans to tears of joy because the world's game truly rules.
Well, the Super Bowl has around 100 million viewers or 150 million viewers.
Wow.
The World Cup final has 2 billion viewers. So we have to make it 20 times better and 20 times bigger than the Super Bowl.
I think it'll be better. I think it will be better.
Wait, really? That's insane.
Watching American fans try to talk about soccer is the funniest thing ever. Because look at how little they know.
I've been watching a lot of World Cup here recently, and this Mbappe dude might just lead France to a true underdog story. I think if we can get him to a big club like LA Galaxy, he can really make a name for himself here in the States. But if you haven't seen him play, you gotta go watch him. I'm telling you, bro, he's the next Christian Pulisic.
After review, number 10, far away, cover his mouth. Decision is red card.
Is it that big?
It's the World Cup. It's by far the biggest sporting event in the world.
I just don't like soccer that much.
Yeah, but it's also about national pride. People are together. It's like one time where people put all differences aside and just enjoy a game. And like every culture's here. Like for example, Brazil Morocco's playing tomorrow. You're Muslim. There's all the Muslims from Morocco. They're all in time.
Wait, where's that? Brazil Morocco's in there tomorrow?
Yes, they're playing in Jersey tomorrow. And all of the fans were at Times Square today trying to farm each other and chanting like, it's crazy, bro.
Yo.
Everyone's outside.
I feel like the World Cup is so big now that the Americans are watching it.
What?
I feel like the World Cup is so big now that Americans are watching it.
What?
Yeah. Crazy? Like, I've just never seen it all over social media and everything, but now that the Americans are hosting it, it feels like it's huge.
You got American social media people on your accounts?
No, I just didn't feel like people really watched the World Cup until now.
The biggest event in the world.
Like, surely not bigger than the NFL, you know?
I don't know what kind of crack you been smoking lately, but I know you know more than that. You can't say stupid shit like that and expect me to really be like, wow.
The World Cup in America is doing something that nobody expected. I cannot imagine another moment in my life where I would be living in Boston, supporting England, at a pub that's normally my local pub that is absolutely invaded by the Tartan army, partying with them while England play, having a laugh, having banter with them, being literally the only English fans in there, partying with what I can only describe as one of the best fan bases I've ever been around in my life. This is a moment in time that I will never, ever forget. For the first time in a very, very long time, our For You pages are filled with joy, World Cup magic, and all of the hateful, negative, media-spun, evil rubbish is being drowned out by the people that are creating our own media.
So by now you've seen those videos of Americans mocking Europeans for wanting to walk along the New Jersey Turnpike to get to the World Cup stadium. And while it is silly to propose walking along a highway to get to a stadium, I'm with the Europeans because, my fellow citizens, it is not a flex that our shit is so unwalkable. Right now I'm in Church Hill in Richmond, Virginia, a place I chose to live because it was laid out long before cars, so you can actually walk places. That's why I use my hiking backpack to grab groceries like the Germans do.
A bunch of Europeans think they can walk to MetLife Stadium from Manhattan, which is 10 miles, and some of them have even said, oh, they'll just cross I-95, it won't be any issue. As in I-95, Interstate Highway 95, that highway. They think they can cross that on foot. And these people want to say that our geography is bad. Not to mention, in New Jersey they're trying this. Like, that's probably the worst state to try and walk in the road in. And a bunch of Americans are trying to tell them, hey, you can't actually walk those 10 miles because it's a bunch of major highways, major roads, neighborhoods, swamps, dirty things. And these Europeans were responding. They're like, oh, you guys just are jealous of how we can walk everywhere. Like, maybe you guys should try it more. And you know, at this point, we just gotta let them do it, all right? Because if they think they can walk across I-95, more power to you, all right? And stuff like this is so ironic for some European people because they will shit on Americans about how we don't know geography, but then they'll come to America and think they can go to New York, Florida, and the Grand Canyon in 3 days.
I'm kind of on the European side. We should be able to walk anywhere. There shouldn't be nowhere I have to go that I couldn't walk if I wanted to. I'm not going to challenge that with my body. But they're willing. Who am I to say no? Maybe we'll get some sidewalks out of this. Let's just hear them out.
I think that a lot of Americans right now are getting a lot of reassurance from like all of the outside tourists coming in right now. Just by the way all these tourists are amazed, like Americans are kind of getting this reassurance of like, okay, wait, we kind of are living in a luxury type. If you get what I mean, if you live in America, you're kind of living a little bit luxury compared to other people around the world.
English fans going to the World Cup in America are in trouble. They're in serious trouble. I am hearing Brits saying, don't worry, we'll walk to the stadium. No, you won't. No, you won't, my friend. Ha! America isn't built for walking. You have to drive everywhere. I've learnt that the hard way. So when I hear Brits saying, oh, it's fine, it's only 3 miles down the road, I can walk. Try it. Try it. 1, you'll get heat stroke. 2, there ain't no sidewalk to walk on, pal. Well, the majority anyway. Please remember, America is not the UK. It's not a tiny island. America is massive, all right? It is huge. It will take you 40 minutes to drive to a local Walmart.
Europeans thinking that they can walk to MetLife Stadium to see the World Cup is white supremacy. And I am going to explain to you why. Hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm a Shakespeare academic. If you know me, it's because I'm a Shakespeare academic. I have spent a cumulative 3 years living over in Europe, 2.5 of those in England, in order to get my master's degree, which means I was also participating up in that upper rub and shoulders echelon of academic society in England. And fun fact about me, I'm so from New Jersey. I'm super from New Jersey. But Kaylee, stop being the woker. How is everything about white supremacy? I'm so serious. European supremacy is white supremacy. This is white supremacy. And the reason that they think they can walk to MetLife Stadium is because they think they're better than you. Literally. Because the conversation, okay, has gone like this. It's only 10 miles. We could walk there. And then Americans are telling you, no, you can't, okay? That's I-95 in New Jersey, okay? That is lanes and lanes of highway of people going upwards of 100 miles an hour, driving the most aggressively anyone has ever driven ever. Or you can walk through a literal toxic waste swamp.
You know what bothers me about Europeans in America? They put the bar so high for taking walks. Like, what do you mean you walk on the highway? Like, am I European now if I don't take walks on the highway? Can I still say I am from Europe? Fuck.
Honestly, the fact that we made fun of Europeans for thinking they were going to walk I-95 for what, 2 months? Only for them to show up and be like, what, bitch? I'm walking it. Now what? Look at me walking it. Here I am walking it. Bless their hearts. Oh, and may the Lord protect.
Media owes America a huge apology because it's nothing like it's being portrayed back home. I've been out here for a few weeks now making videos on my experiences in America and people are shocked. These are the responses back home. I'm getting hate for saying how good America is because people just don't believe what I'm saying. And I just need to say to everyone, if you don't believe it, you have to come out here and try it for yourself. I'm here for the 4th of July right now. It's incredibly hot today and everyone is doing everything to help each other, sharing shade, sharing water. And I've just been in the queue to go on the Ferris wheel. And in the queue, everyone was super friendly, excited to talk to each other, where each other are from, where they've traveled from. You genuinely believe that American people is what makes America great.
So many Americans online talking about the World Cup like it's some kind of revelation, you know, like it's bringing people from all over the world together. Yeah, it's kind of what it does, like every 4 years. That's why every other country loves it. But I get it, though. I get why you ignored the World Cup, because you've got your own sports to worry about. You know, you've got like the World Series of Baseball, or, you know, you're busy crowning the world champions of the National Basketball Association. In the past, Americans have made fun of soccer, you know, calling it boring because it's like low-scoring games, 0-0 draws. And it does require more than 3 minutes of your attention, you know. And it must be confusing, you know, there's no cheerleaders, no fireworks, no B-list pop star plugging their shitty record while someone rocket launches merchandise into the crowd. But America have now lived through 2 Trump presidencies. There are UFC fights on the White House lawn. They might be starting to realise that the spectacle is part of the grift. You know, it's just another way to sell you some shit. Whether that's a bucket of popcorn drowning in butter or the all-new Jeep Cherokee. Maybe this World Cup is finally clicked, you know. You don't need all the bells and whistles to enjoy sport. For all its faults, yeah, all the money grabbing and the capitalistic endeavours, football can bring together people from different walks of life, you know. Capitalistic endeavours, football can bring together people from different walks of life, you know. And the World Cup is a reminder of that, you know.
Just arrived in America to watch England in the World Cup. I've never, ever felt heat like this. My top lip is sweating. I just spoke to an American and said, how do you live like this? You know what they said? Yeah, we just don't leave the house for a month. Why are we hosting a World Cup then?
America doesn't hate soccer. America was taught to ignore it. Every few years, someone writes an article asking, is soccer finally having its moment in America? And every few years, the answer is sort of yes, and then nothing changes. But the reason nothing sticks isn't about the sport. It's about who the sport belongs to here. Soccer arrived in America with immigrants, Italian communities in New York, Polish communities in Chicago, Caribbean communities in New Jersey, and on and on. They built leagues, stadiums, and rivalries in the early 1900s that rivaled anything happening in Europe. The American Soccer League in the 1920s was drawing crowds of 20,000 people, and then the US Football Association and American sports media systemically dismantled it. Not because it wasn't popular, but because it was popular with the wrong people. Fast forward to 1994 and America hosts its first World Cup. 3 million people attend. It becomes the highest attended World Cup in history. And yet within a decade, most Americans couldn't even name a single player from the tournament. But the common thread here isn't apathy, it's that American sports culture has always decided which communities get to define what's worth watching. And immigrants, working class, and diaspora communities have never been that community. But I'm hopeful because 2026 seems structurally different. The World Cup isn't just passing through America, it's landing in cities that are those communities. New York, Dallas, LA, Miami. The Moroccan family in Paterson, New Jersey who's been watching every World Cup in a basement for 30 years is now 20 minutes away from that match. Same with the Salvadoran community in DC, the Ghanaian community in the Bronx. These communities don't need to be converted into soccer fans because they never stopped. So the question I keep sitting with isn't whether America will finally fall in love with soccer this summer, it's whether America will notice who's been loving it all along.
Like Shake Shack, is that American? Where do I start? The pancakes have been pretty good. The size, the portions, everything is different.
World Cup fans from around the world are going viral for their reactions to American culture.
Look at this truck! Here, everything's big. Everything's bigger. Cars, trucks, they're big. We went to Philadelphia and we had a Philly steak from the market there. It was that big and that high. We went to Mackey's. I think I love Mackey's. Lots of sugar, lots of salt.
A lot more saturated fats, a lot more like your numbers, a lot more big slurps, bigger and better over it.
The American mind, including my own, is finally starting to comprehend just how much soccer means to the rest of the world. Because as we speak, Mexico is going harder than we ever thought was possible. So last night we had Mexico beat Ecuador 2-0 in their match. It's their first knockout win in 40 years. And when that final whistle was blown last night, the entire country lost their freaking mind. Look at this, man. I mean, I'm sorry, and I hate to say it, but the SEC, they could never. And they're estimating that after last night's match, over 1 million people flooded the streets of Enjal de la Independencia just to celebrate. That is roughly the entire population of San Jose, California, in the streets just to celebrate a soccer game that isn't even the championship. And look, I'm a lifelong NFL fan. Unfortunately, a Jets fan, so I'll never experience anything like this in my entire life. But the most attended Super Bowl of all time was 103,000 people. Mexico put 10 times that number in the middle of a street on a random Tuesday night for winning the round of 32.
To try to hit it, and it's taken quickly. Vosenia pops it. McAllister trying to thread that through. That shot is saved by is Lionel Messi and Vosenia. Great touch, Lautaro Martinez, Lionel Messi, save! The time for some passes. Or Paredes just lets it go. It's right at Vosenia. Run to daylight now for Argentina. No, it's a cross in for Julian Alvarez. And Vosenia's going to carry out. Denied and winning goal by the statistician. Just lumps it forward. And here we go.
E hoje eu não quero mais pegar você. Sabe por quê? Porque é sabe.
Messi goes slow. Vosenia pops in the air. Argentina. It's going to fall for Messi.
If you just missed this messy free kick, Vosenia, the dude who started with like 40,000 followers for Cabo Verde and then like 15 million people followed him, I've never seen anything like this. They got a free kick. Messi's sitting there, okay? They've already blown the whistle. So they already blew the whistle, which means for non-soccer fans, you can kick the ball. Either one of these guys can go and take the free kick. Vosenia is setting up his wall. They're not looking. They're looking back at Vosenia, and they're like, where do you want us to go? He's saying, you're too far over. I need you to come over here. I want you to block this side because it's Messi's left foot. He can go around this way. I want you to be over here, so he has to come over here. I'm going to come over here. As he's doing this, literally nobody paying attention except Messi. He goes at the ball and takes it quickly, and it's on target. Sorry, I should have shown you Vosenia here. Let me back up the camera so you can see them both. He goes to take it, try to catch him off guard. He just runs up and takes it. Vosenia notices, starts sprinting over, perfectly placed by Messi, and he just happens to get there, get his fingers on it, tip it out of there. Just an absolute ridiculous save.
Not to be dramatic, but that was the greatest sporting event I've ever witnessed in my entire life. The 67th ranked team, the smallest country, smaller than Rhode Island, smaller than the state of Rhode Island is Cape Verde. Toe-to-toe with Argentina into extra time. Vosenia literally a human wall out there. Look at Messi's face. Look at how stressed he was. He was so stressed during this match. He's like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? You had players dropping left and right, cramping up on the field. The fans were crying before the game was even over. I couldn't even imagine being there in the stands.
England plays Mexico in the World Cup today. Let's break this down from an American that's watched soccer or football for about 6 days. The game is being held at the Azteca in Mexico. Mexico is dominant at that stadium. They've lost like 8 games out of 150 there. It'll hold like 80,000 people or 80,000 Mexican fans. So that's like Auburn Stadium, basically. But the thing is, it's like 7,300 feet of altitude. That means every time those England players breathe, they're going to get about 75 to 80% of the oxygen they would normally get at sea level. They're going to get tired. They're going to get gassed out.
Bodies on time, made it. Pretty pictures from the upward bound. When the thunder hits, it doesn't make a sound. World's in a hurry just to be let down. Wearing no worry like a wedding gown. Your body's on time, made it.